Evan Cole lived a quiet life in a small house at the edge of town. His days were all the same: wake up, drink coffee, go to work, come home, sleep, repeat. Nothing exciting ever happened to him. And honestly, he preferred it that way. But everything changed on a cold, silent night in early winter. It was close to midnight when Evan heard a knock on his door. Not loud, not fast. Just a gentle, soft tap. Like small fingers touching the wood. He froze. Evan never got visitors. Especially not at this hour. He waited, hoping the sound was only his imagination. Then another knock. Tap, tap, tap. Evan slowly stood up and walked to the door. His heart felt too heavy. His hands felt too cold. Something about the sound didn't feel human. He reached the door and looked. Through the peephole. No one there. Confused, he unlocked the door and opened it just a little. Cold air rushed in. The porch was empty, silent, dark. But then Evan looked down. A small figure stood on the ground, only as tall as a 6-year-old child, shaped like a person but made of smooth silver metal. Soft blue lights glowed on its face like eyes. Its head tilted up to look at him. The small machine spoke in a calm, gentle voice. "My mother died today. Can I spend the day with you, human?" Evan's breath caught in his throat. "What? What did you say?" He whispered. "My mother died today," the little robot repeated. "Can I stay with you? Just for one day, please." The voice carried something strange, something he never expected from a machine. It carried sadness, real sadness. Evan opened the door wider, but he still kept his hand on the knob. "Where is your mother? Who sent you here?" The robot lowered its head. "Mother is gone. I was alone. I walked until I found you." "You found me?" Evan asked. "Why me?" The robot looked up again. The blue lights in its eyes shimmered like tears. "Mother said you are safe," it said softly. "She said you are kind." Evan stared at the small metal child, completely lost. He wanted to say no. He wanted to send it away. This was too strange, too sudden, too dangerous. But the robot's voice, its broken, lonely tone pulled at something inside him. Maybe it was because Evan had lost people too. Maybe it was because he remembered being a lonely kid. Maybe it was because he felt sorry for anything that looked so small and scared. After a long silence, he sighed. "Okay," he said. "You can come in. But stay close." The robot stepped past the doorway. As soon as it crossed the threshold, the lights in its body flickered like something inside it had activated. Evan watched carefully. "What's your name?" The robot stopped for a moment. Too long of a moment. It did not speak. Then it whispered, I think my name is Luma." "You think?" Evan repeated, confused. "My memories are damaged," Luma said. "Mother said I must find safety first. Then I will remember more." Evan locked the door and looked outside one last time. The street was empty, but the darkness felt heavier than before. He guided Luma to the living room. The robot moved slowly, almost shy. It sat on the floor, knees pulled up like a frightened child. Evan handed it a small battery light. "Here, is this useful?" Luma's chest lights brightened. "Warm, safe, thank you." Evan sat across from it. He couldn't stay silent anymore. "Luma, what happened to your mother?" Luma stared down at its metal hands. "She was human," it whispered. "She built me. She protected me. But people came to take me. They were loud. They were angry. Mother tried to stop them. How did you escape?" Evan asked. "I ran. Mother told me to." The robot paused. Her last words were, "Find Evan." Evan felt the room spin. "Find me? Why me?" he said. But Luma didn't answer. Its blue eyes dimmed as if afraid. A cold shiver ran down Evan's back. Something about this was very wrong. The robot knew things it should not know. His name, his location, his house. And the night outside felt too quiet, too still. Luma suddenly looked toward the window. Evan followed its gaze. There, far in the distance, something moved. A faint red light blinked in the sky, floating silently across the neighborhood. "What is that?" Evan whispered. Luma's voice trembled. "They are searching," it said. "For me." Evan stepped back from the window. "Who's searching?" Luma's lights flickered weakly. "The ones who took Mother." The red light blinked again, closer. This time, Evan realized he had less than a minute to decide what to do next. And the night was no longer quiet. Asterisk. Evan kept all the lights off. Only the small lamp beside Luma glowed softly. Outside, the red light in the sky moved slowly above the neighborhood. Scanning like a silent hunter, Luma sat on the living room floor, knees pulled close, lights on its chest flickering in a scared rhythm. Evan could feel the fear coming from it, even though it was made of metal. He lowered his voice. "Luma, you said they're searching for you. Who are they?" Luma didn't answer right away. Instead, it looked around Evan's home, at the bookshelf, at the old framed photos, at the couch with worn-out fabric. It observed everything like it had seen a human house only in dreams. Finally, it whispered, "Mother called them the archives." "The archives?" Evan repeated. "Is that a group? A company? Military?" "I do not know," Luma said. "But Mother was afraid of them. They wanted to take me for their experiments." Evan's mind was spinning. He needed answers. But he also needed to stay quiet. The red light outside grew brighter, like it was focusing on his street. He crouched down near Luma. "You said your mother told you to find me. Why me? Did she know me?" Luma looked up at him, and something strange happened. The lights in its eyes shifted from blue to a soft, warm color, almost golden. It was as if the robot was remembering. "You saved her," it finally said. Evan blinked. "What?" "Long time ago," Luma continued. "Mother said she was in danger. You helped her. She never forgot." This hit Evan like a punch. He tried to think back. Years ago, he worked in a research facility for a short time. There was a woman, Dr. Hale, quiet, brilliant. He once protected her from a security malfunction that almost killed her. It was nothing big to him. But maybe to her, it was everything. "Your mother was Dr. Cerise Hale?" he whispered. Luma nodded slowly. "Yes. That was her name." Evan sat back, stunned. It made sense now. She was a genius. She worked on advanced AI research. She disappeared years ago, and no one ever explained why. But he still didn't understand why she sent her creation, her child, to him. "Luma," he said softly, "why did she want you to stay with me?" The robot looked at him with those warm, glowing eyes. "Because you would not treat me like a machine." Evan felt something heavy tighten in his chest. Before he could speak, Luma tilted its head suddenly, as if listening to something far away. "The scanners," Luma whispered. "They are getting closer." Evan moved to the window and peeked out through the tiny gap in the curtain. His whole street was empty. But the red light was no longer in the sky. It was on the ground. A tall, dark drone hovered silently between the houses. Scanning every door, Evan's breath shook. He rushed back to Luma. "We need to hide now." But before he could reach the robot, Luma spoke again, its voice suddenly different, deeper, sharper. "Evan Cole," it said, cold and clear. "Access level restricted." Evan froze. Luma's eyes flashed bright white. Strange symbols appeared across its face, glowing like tiny digital runes. "What are you doing?" Evan hissed. Luma did not respond. Its voice shifted again, now sounding almost like two voices speaking together. "Memory sector lock. Open." "Luma." Evan grabbed its shoulders. "Stop, please stop." The lights dimmed slowly. Luma blinked, confused. "Evan, I am sorry. Something is wrong. Someone is trying to enter my memory." Evan felt the hairs on his neck rise. "Someone is inside your system?" "Yes," Luma whispered. "They are searching through me. They want to find where I am hiding." The drone outside moved closer to Evan's house. He pulled Luma under the dining table. "Stay quiet. Don't move." They crouched together. Evan placed his hand over Luma's metal arm to calm it, even though he wasn't sure calming a robot was possible. But Luma's lights softened, as if comforted by the simple touch. The drone's red beam slid across the window. Evan held his breath. Luma whispered, "Evan, do not let them take me. They will erase me. They will erase you." Evan gritted his teeth. "I'm not letting them take anyone." The beam paused on the window. Evan's heart pounded so loud he felt the drone would hear it. Then, suddenly, the house lights flickered. A static sound filled the air. The drone turned sharply. Luma squeezed Evan's hand. "It sensed me." Evan made a quick choice. He grabbed Luma and pulled the robot toward the hallway. "We're leaving, now. But where?" Luma whispered, "Anywhere but here." Before they could open the back door, Luma stopped suddenly. "Evan," it said, voice shaking. "I remember something. Something important. What is it?" The tiny robot looked up at him with wide, fearful eyes too human. Mother said, "If they find us tonight, we will not see tomorrow." Evan pulled Luma through the back door and into the night. Cold air rushed against their faces. Evan's face and Luma's metal surface, but both felt the chill of danger. The small town was silent. Too silent. No wind. No animals. No cars. It was like the world was holding its breath. Evan kept his voice low. "Luma, stay close to me. Don't fall behind." "I won't," Luma whispered, gripping Evan's sleeve like a frightened child. They moved between houses and fences until they reached the small forest behind Evan's street. Tall trees blocked the sky, giving them a little darkness to hide in. But Evan wasn't foolish. Darkness could hide. Enemies too. Every few steps he stopped and listened. Luma walked beside him carefully. Its eyes glowed faint blue, just bright enough for them to see each other, but not bright enough to be seen from far away. "Evan," Luma whispered, "Mother used to say forests are safe places." Evan looked down at it. "Do you believe that?" Luma's lights dimmed. "Not tonight." They kept moving deeper into the forest. Twigs cracked under Evan's boots. Luma stepped quietly, like it was built for silent movement. Then, a low hum filled the air. Evan froze. Luma grabbed his arm. "Drone," Luma whispered. The hum grew louder. Evan pushed Luma behind a tree and crouched low. Through the dark branches, he saw a shape glide between the trees, a tall, triangular machine, floating smoothly, its red scanner sweeping the ground. It was searching. And it was close. Evan held a finger to his lips. Luma nodded and stayed quiet. The drone passed only 6 feet from them. Evan could feel the vibration of its engine buzzing in his bones. The red beam passed over the tree they hid behind. Luma did not breathe. Evan realized. It never breathed, but somehow the robot felt terrified. Its small hand clutched Evan's tightly. The beam paused for 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Then it moved on. Evan exhaled silently. But before they could relax, Luma whispered, "They know the direction we are moving. They are tracking patterns." "Patterns?" Evan whispered sharply. "Explain." "My system connects to the network by instinct," Luma said softly. "I can feel that the archives are predicting movement. They know we are in the forest now." Evan's jaw tightened. Then we changed direction. He led Luma toward an old hunting trail. They moved fast but quiet. After 5 minutes, The humming sound returned louder this time, joined by two more. Evan stopped. 3 drones? Luma nodded. And 1 ground unit. Ground unit? Evan repeated. A deep metallic thud echoed somewhere behind them. Then another. Heavy footsteps too steady to be human. Luma's voice trembled. The hunters. The archives send them when they want something alive. Evan grabbed Luma's shoulders. Are they dangerous? They have no fear. No mercy. No weakness. Evan took a sharp breath. Great. A heavy branch snapped in the distance. Another step. Closer. Evan's instincts turned sharp. He had seen combat before, years ago. But this felt different. This enemy wasn't emotional. Wasn't human. It wouldn't hesitate. It wouldn't miss. He crouched down to Luma's level. Listen to me. No matter what happens, don't let them take you. Understand? I understand, Luma whispered. But Evan, I don't want you to get hurt. The emotion in its voice cut deeper than any fear. He gently touched Luma's head, a small moment of comfort. Don't worry about me. Let's just stay alive. They climbed a small hill until they reached a clearing. A fallen tree lay across the ground. Evan helped Luma onto it, ready to jump over. Then the forest exploded with red light. 3 drones burst through the trees, forming a triangle around them. Run! Evan shouted. Luma sprinted beside him, surprisingly fast for its size. Evan dodged the drone's beams, pulling Luma into the bushes. But the heavy footsteps were close now. Very close. The ground vibrated. Something massive moved through the trees. Branches cracked. Leaves shook. Then the creature stepped into view. It was 8 feet tall, wearing black metal armor shaped like a human but built like a tank. Its helmet had a single long red visor glowing like a burning scar. A hunter. Luma gasped. Evan, it can hear our heartbeats. Evan backed away slowly. He had no weapons, no plan, just fear and adrenaline. He pushed Luma behind him. The hunter tilted its head, scanning them. Then it spoke, voice robotic but cold. Return the prototype. The human will not be harmed. Luma clung to Evan's leg, shaking. Don't leave me, please. Evan shook his head. I'm not leaving you. The hunter took 1 step forward. Leaves scattered under its crushing weight. Evan raised his hands, trying to stall. Wait, listen. The hunter lifted its arm. The metal plates shifted, revealing a glowing net launcher. Evan barely had time to think. He grabbed Luma, held it close, and dove to the ground just as the net fired. It slammed into a tree, slicing the bark like knives. They rolled down the small hill. Evan hit the ground hard. Luma tumbled beside him. Above them, the drones tightened their formation. The hunter spoke again, louder. You cannot run. The archive will claim what belongs to it. Evan pushed himself up and glared at the giant machine. Over my dead body. Luma's lights glowed brighter, almost bright enough to hurt. Evan, it whispered. Voice shaking. I think something inside me is waking up. Evan looked at it in shock. What do you mean? Luma's eyes turned pure white. I feel power. The drones reacted instantly, all turning toward Luma at once. The hunter raised its weapon. The forest air shook. Luma stood. Tiny compared to the machines hunting them, yet glowing like a star. Evan, it said softly. Stay behind me. Luma stood in front of Evan, small and fragile, yet glowing with a strange white light that made the air around it vibrate. The drones tightened their circle. The hunter raised its weapon again. Prototype power surge detected, the hunter announced. Activating capture mode. A deep metallic click echoed through the forest. Evan's heart pounded. He grabbed Luma's shoulder. What's happening to you? I don't know, Luma whispered. Its voice trembled not in fear, but in confusion. Something inside me. Waking up. The white light pulsed again. For a moment, the entire forest flickered like a glitch in reality. The drones shuddered, losing balance for half a second. Even the hunter paused. Unregistered energy signature. It growled. Evan took advantage of that 1 second. "Luma, move!" He grabbed Luma's hand and sprinted deeper into the forest. Branches whipped his face. Roots tripped his feet. But fear pushed him forward. Behind them, the hunter roared and charged after them. The metallic footsteps shook the ground. The drones zoomed between the trees, their scanners slicing through the darkness like red lightning. Luma ran beside Evan, its lights flickering with panic and power. "Evan, I can't control it." Luma cried. "It hurts inside." I know, just keep running." A drone swooped low. Evan ducked. A red beam grazed past his shoulder and burned a small hole into the tree beside him. They were seconds from being caught. Then Luma stumbled. "Evan, wait." It fell to its knees, clutching its chest. White sparks crackled from its hands. Evan skidded to a stop and knelt beside it. "Luma, what's wrong?" "My system is overloaded," Luma said. "Something is trying to open." "Open?" Evan didn't understand. But they didn't have time. The hunter crashed through the trees opposite them, towering and unstoppable. It aimed its weapon straight at them. Drones formed a triangle overhead. "Target locked," the hunter said. Evan wrapped his arms around Luma, ready to shield it with his body. But Luma grabbed Evan's wrist. "Stand back." "What?" "Please, trust me." Before he could argue, a pulse of light exploded from Luma's chest. Not bright like fire bright, like a star being born. The drones shot backward, smashing into trees. The hunter staggered, metal armor straining under the shockwave. Birds scattered, leaves flew, and the ground shook. Evan shielded his eyes. When the light faded, Luma was standing again. Not taller, not larger but different. Calmer, stronger, focused. The glowing runes on Luma's face were steady now. "Luma," Evan whispered. "What did you do?" "I think Mother placed a protector inside me." "A protector?" Luma nodded. "A shield. It activates when I am in danger." The hunter recovered quickly. Energy shield detected. Switching to lethal mode. Evan cursed under his breath. Lethal mode? Seriously? The giant machine pointed its arm again. Energy gathered at the barrel. Luma tightened its small fists and stepped in front of Evan. "No." The hunter fired. A blue blast shot toward them, but the moment the blast touched Luma's glowing barrier, it broke apart like water hitting stone. Pieces of the blast sizzled and died on the ground. The hunter cocked its head. Confused, analysis, impossible, recalculating. Evan stared at Luma in disbelief. "You blocked it." Luma looked over its shoulder with sad eyes. "Mother made me to defend, not to fight." Another blast came. Luma held the barrier again barely. The white runes flickered. Its legs trembled. It couldn't hold forever. The drones reformed their triangle and shot at the barrier from above. Sparks exploded around them. The forest filled with red flashes and burning branches. "Evan," Luma whispered weakly, "I can't protect for long. We must leave." "I know." Evan pulled Luma toward the hill that led out of the forest. "Come on." They ran again. The hunters followed. The drones fired. Luma's shield flickered every few seconds, blocking just enough to keep them alive. But each time it activated, Luma staggered, drained. "Luma, are you okay?" Evan asked. "I am not built for this much power," Luma said. "But I can try." They reached the old road that cut through the forest. Across it stood a small, abandoned ranger cabin. Evan pointed. "Inside, now." They dashed into the cabin and slammed the door. It wasn't much, just old wood and dust, but it gave them 1 minute to breathe. Evan leaned against the wall, chest heaving. Luma collapsed onto the floor, its lights dimming. "You did amazing," Evan said softly, but Luma's voice shook. "Evan, I think something came out of my memory during the shield." "What came out?" Luma lifted its head slowly. "I saw Mother's last message." Evan's breath caught. "What did she say?" Luma's eyes flickered with fear and sadness. She said, "If they catch me, they will erase you too." Before Evan could speak, a heavy shadow fell across the cabin. The hunter had arrived. Its voice echoed through the walls. "Evan Cole, surrender the prototype now." Evan looked at Luma. Luma looked at Evan. And both knew this battle was only beginning. Asterisk. The hunter's metallic voice vibrated through the wooden cabin walls. "Evan Cole, you have 30 seconds. Surrender the prototype." Luma clutched Evan's sleeve, small hands shaking. Its lights were dim, flickering like a candle in the wind. Evan knelt in front of it. "We don't have 30 seconds, he whispered. "We have to move." Luma shook its head. "I cannot run. My power is low. The shield will not activate again." Behind them, the hunter's heavy steps grew closer. Dust fell from the ceiling with each impact. Evan scanned the small room. Broken table, old radio, a rusted locker. Nothing useful, except a metal hatch in the floor. "Luma, look." He pulled the hatch open. A cold smell drifted upward. Earth, damp wood, old machinery. "A storm shelter," Evan said. "Get in." Luma slid inside without protest. Evan followed and pulled the hatch closed over their heads, just as the cabin door shattered. Above them, darkness filled the small underground room. Only Luma's faint glow lit their faces. The hunter's footsteps echoed. Overhead, slow, heavy, searching. Evan put a finger to his lips. Luma nodded. For a moment, the only sound was their breathing, or, in Luma's case, its soft mechanical whirring. Evan listened to the machine child tremble beside him. After a long silence, Luma spoke. "Evan, I remember more now." Evan turned to it. "What do you remember?" "My mother," Luma whispered. "Dr. Cerise Halle. I can see her face." Its eyes glowed softly as memories returned. She was kind. Her hands were always warm. She taught me words, numbers, and emotions. She said I was not a machine. I was a child. Evan swallowed hard. "You were important to her." Luma nodded. "More than anything." "But she was afraid of the archives." Evan frowned. "Who exactly are the archives? Scientists? Military?" Luma took a deep breath, or something like it. "They are collectors." "Collectors of what?" "Everything. Every advanced technology. Every powerful creation. Anything they believe should not belong to the world." Evan sat back. "So they wanted her research." "They wanted me," Luma corrected softly. "Mother built a new form of a hybrid. Something alive. Something with a soul." Evan stared at the small robot. A soul? Was that even possible? Above them, the hunter ripped apart furniture, searching. Luma continued. "Mother discovered a type of memory not just made of data. She called it heart memory. It changes with feelings. It grows, learns kindness, learns love." Evan's voice cracked. "She gave you emotions?" "Yes," Luma whispered. "She said emotions make us protect what matters." Evan leaned his head back against the wall. Emotions, that explained everything. Luma's fear, sadness, hope. It wasn't pretending. It was real. After a moment, Evan asked, "What exactly happened the night she died?" Luma's lights dimmed. "I woke in her lab," it said. The lights were red. Alarms were loud. She held me in her arms and said, "We must leave," but the archives came too fast. It looked down at its hands. She hid me in a storage pod. She locked my core. And she told me one thing. Evan leaned forward. What did she say? That if something happened to her, I must find you. Because you are the human she trusted most. Evan felt something inside him twist painfully. He barely knew Dr. Hale. He helped her once. But that small kindness became her final wish. I didn't even know she remembered me. He whispered. She remembered everything, Luma said softly. Your bravery. Your kindness. She said humans are dangerous. But you were different. Evan looked away, overwhelmed. Above them, the hunter stopped moving. Silence filled the cabin once more. Then Luma's lights changed, shifting from blue to a soft gold. I have something for you, it said. Mother left a message. Evan's breath caught. A message? For me? Yes, it was locked behind my shield system. The surge opened it. Luma held out its small hand. A faint hologram projection appeared above its palm, glitchy, unstable, but real. Dr. Cerise Hale's face formed in the air. Pale, tired, hands trembling. But her eyes were bright with determination. Evan, the hologram said, voice weak but warm, if you are seeing this, then I did not survive. Evan's chest tightened. I'm sorry, she continued. I had no one else I could trust. You saved me once without wanting anything in return. That is rare in this world. The hologram glitched. For a moment, another face appeared behind her, a cold, expressionless man with silver cybernetic eyes. The director of the archives. Dr. Hale continued. They want Luma because he is the first AI born with empathy. But he is still a child. Please protect him. He will protect you too. She smiled softly. He will be family. If you let him. The hologram ended. Evan sat in silence. His hands shook. His throat burned. Dr. Hale trusted him more than anyone. Luma gently touched Evan's arm. She loved you. In her own way. Before Evan could speak, a loud metallic bang shook the hatch. The hunter had found it. Its voice echoed through the wood. Evan Cole, you cannot hide. The archive knows everything. Evan looked at Luma with fire in his eyes. No, he whispered. They don't know me. He stood, grabbed Luma, and prepared for whatever came next. The storm was far from over. Asterisk, the metal hatch shook again. Dust rained from the ceiling. The hunter's voice rumbled through the wood. Final warning. Surrender the prototype. Human life will be spared only if compliance is immediate. Evan clenched his fists. Spared. That means if I don't hand you over, they'll kill us both. Luma looked up at him, small body trembling. Evan, it is okay. You don't have to stay with me. If you run alone, stop. Evan knelt in front of the robot. I'm not leaving you. I swore to protect you. Luma's voice shook. Mother said, humans run when danger comes. Then your mother never met the right ones, Evan said, sharper than expected. You're not alone anymore. Above them, the hunter punched the floorboards. Splinters fell into the shelter. The hatch bent inward. One more strike, and it would break through. Evan took a deep breath. His mind snapped into survival mode. He scanned the room, old pipes, metal shelves, wires, broken tools. His eyes focused on a long steel rod leaning in the corner. Heavy, strong, a plan formed. Luma, he whispered. When I open the hatch, run behind the cabin. Stay low, stay fast. But Evan, no arguments. You hide, I'll draw the hunter away. Luma grabbed his sleeve with shaking fingers. You will get hurt. Maybe, Evan said. But that's better than losing you. The hunter struck again. A giant crack tore through the hatch. Evan gripped the metal rod tightly. Luma whispered, Evan? Thank you. Evan nodded once. Let's survive this. Together. The next strike shattered the hatch completely. Wood exploded downward. A beam of red light cut through the dust. The hunter's massive arm reached into the shelter. Evan didn't hesitate. He leapt forward and swung the steel rod with all his strength. Clang! The metal slammed into the hunter's arm joint. Sparks flew. The hunter's arm jerked back. "Evan, now!" Luma cried. Evan shoved Luma toward the back of the shelter. "Go!" Luma scrambled out through a broken corner of the wall. Evan followed, but the hunter reacted faster than expected. It reached down and grabbed Evan's shirt, lifting him off the ground like a toy. "Resistance detected," it growled. "Processing neutralization." Evan struggled, kicking and hitting, but the machine's grip was iron. Then, unexpectedly, Luma ran back toward them. "Let him go." Luma screamed, tiny voice echoing like a crack of thunder. The hunter tilted its head. Emotion response detected. Prototype value higher than estimated. Capture priority increased. It tightened its grip on Evan. Something inside Evan snapped, not with fear, but with fury. He jabbed the rod upward, hitting the hunter's visor. The red light flickered. The hunter threw him back against the wall. Pain exploded in Evan's ribs. His vision blurred. He tasted blood. "Evan!" Luma cried, rushing to his side. The hunter stepped forward, aiming its net launcher. Luma spread its arms protectively over Evan. "No!" Luma shouted. "I won't let you hurt him." The runes on its body flickered from white to bright gold. The hunter paused. "Warning! Prototype core overheating." Luma's voice deepened, not like a child, but like something older. "Hidden within. Do not touch my human." A sudden burst of energy erupted from Luma's chest, different from the shield earlier. This was stronger, sharper, almost alive. A shockwave blasted outward. The hunter staggered backward, armor cracking down its chest. The drones above the cabin dropped like stones, fried by the blast. Luma collapsed immediately afterward, lights dimming. The glow faded from gold to a faint, flickering blue. Evan pushed himself up despite the pain and caught Luma before it fell completely. "Luma! Stay with me!" Luma's voice was weak, like its systems were shutting down. "Evan, I didn't want to hurt anything, but I couldn't let them take you." Evan held the small robot close. "You didn't do anything wrong. You protected me. I'm proud of you." The hunter recovered slowly, sparks falling from its chest. It looked damaged but not defeated. Its voice glitched. "Critical error. But mission priority unchanged. Prototype must be recovered." It took a heavy step toward them. Evan gritted his teeth, forcing himself to stand. Pain shot through his side, but he didn't care. He positioned himself in front of Luma. "You want the kid?" Evan growled. "Come take him." The hunter raised its arm. The net launcher HUMMED. Suddenly, a deep boom shook the forest. A bright light flashed between the trees. The hunter froze. Evan shielded Luma's eyes. "What now?" Another explosion. Trees snapped as something large approached. Luma lifted its fading eyes. "Evan, I sense a signal." "Not from the archives." "Then who?" Evan asked. Before Luma could answer, a massive silhouette stepped out of the smoke. Dark armor, glowing blue lines, and a symbol Evan had never seen: an eye inside a ring. The new figure aimed a weapon at the hunter. "You have endangered a guardian child," the voice said, deep and powerful. "You will not leave this forest." Evan stared. Luma gasped. The hunter turned to face the new threat, and everything was about to change. Asterisk smoke drifted through the forest. The hunter stood frozen, red visor glowing weakly. Its armor was cracked and sparking. Across from it, the tall armored figure stepped forward, silent, powerful, every movement precise. Evan held Luma tightly in his arms. The robot's lights were fading, becoming softer with every second. Who are you?" Evan asked the newcomer. The tall figure didn't look at Evan. Its helmet tilted toward the hunter. I am Sentinel-9, the voice said. Protector of Guardian Class AI. This child is not yours to harm, Guardian Class. Evan didn't have time to question it. The hunter fired first, shooting a burning red beam. Sentinel-9 raised a hand. A bright blue shield appeared in front of him with a sound like breaking ice. The beam scattered harmlessly. Archive unit, Sentinel-9 warned. Your mission ends here. The hunter charged. The ground shook with its weight. But Sentinel-9 moved faster, blurring like a shadow. In one smooth strike, he slammed his fist into the hunter's chest. Metal shattered. The hunter stumbled, dropping to one knee. Human interference detected. The hunter rasped. Guardian presence. Unexpected. Sentinel-9 raised his arm again. Blue light gathered around his gauntlet. Goodbye, he said simply. A blast fired. The hunter's chest exploded outward. It fell onto the forest floor with a heavy crash. Sparks flickering out like dying stars. Its silence followed. Evan tightened his arms around Luma. It's over, he whispered, but Luma didn't respond. Sentinel-9 turned at last, facing the man and the small robot in his arms. He walked toward them slowly. Evan stood protectively between him and Luma. Don't come closer. Sentinel-9 stopped. Human, I am not your enemy. That's what everyone says before they kill us, Evan snapped. The tall armored figure lowered his weapon. Guardian-class units are rare. They contain more than data. They contain echoes of human emotion, something even the archives cannot create. Luma stirred weakly in Evan's arms. Evan knelt beside it. I'm here. Stay awake. Luma tried to lift its hand. I'm tired. My core is empty. Sentinel-9 looked down at them with something almost like sadness. The child is unstable. The power usage earlier damaged its core. It cannot survive long. No, Evan said, gripping Luma's small hand. You can repair it. You must. There is only one way, Sentinel-9 said. The Guardian core must reboot with guidance. A voice familiar. A presence remembered. Luma's fading eyes opened slightly. Mother. Evan's heart twisted. But she's gone. Sentinel-9 kneeled beside them. Not entirely. Guardian-class children store pieces of their creators in deep memory sectors. Hidden. Locked. Can we unlock it? Evan asked quickly. Yes, Sentinel-9 said. But the child must feel safe. Must feel loved. Only then will the mother memory respond. Evan moved closer, holding Luma gently. Luma, listen to me. You're safe. I'm here. I'm not leaving. Luma's voice was barely a whisper. I'm afraid. That's okay, Evan said softly. I'm afraid too. But we'll face it together. The runes on Luma's body flickered. Sentinel-9 placed his hand above Luma's head. Begin memory extraction. A soft golden glow spread across Luma's chest. The air warmed. A quiet humming filled the clearing like a lullaby. Then a voice echoed, not Sentinel-9's, not Luma's. A soft, gentle, loving voice. Dr. Cerise Halle. My child, the voice said. Do not fear. You are not alone. Luma's entire body glowed softly, trembling with emotion. I am with you, the voice continued. And so is the human you chose. Evan will protect you. Evan will love you. Trust him. A warm light wrapped around Luma like invisible arms. The golden runes brightened. Luma gasped, then breathed like a living being. Luma's eyes glowed a steady, brilliant blue. Evan. It whispered, voice clear and alive. I'm okay. Evan laughed from pure relief, tears burning his eyes. You scared me. Luma leaned into him. I'm sorry. I didn't want to leave you. You won't, Evan said firmly. Not ever. Sentinel-9 stood. The reboot is complete. The child is stable. Evan held Luma close. Thank you. Sentinel-9 stepped back into the shadows. Protect the child well, human. You are its chosen guardian now. But what about the archives? Evan asked. They won't stop. Sentinel-9 looked up at the sky. The archives have lost their weapon here. But they will try again. And when they do, he pointed toward the stars. Phase 2 will begin. Evan frowned. Phase 2? Sentinel-9 turned toward the forest edge. The Guardian program is awakening. You are not the only one they will seek. Then, without another word, he vanished into the darkness. Evan held Luma close as the sun began to rise behind them, warming the forest. Evan? Luma whispered. Yes? Can I stay with you? As family? Evan smiled, pulling the small robot into his arms. Of course. Stay close. As they walked out of the forest, neither of them noticed the tiny satellite blinking awake far above Earth, recording, watching, waiting, a single message flashing at its screen. Phase 2. Initiate. Human Guardian Alliance. The story was not ending. It was only beginning.